Welcome to another Luck Scout bedtime story. The Lesson of the Golden Trust. In a peaceful village nestled among hills and meadows, there lived a young man named Alden. Alden had a heart as pure as the blue sky above. He believed deeply in the goodness of people, always seeing the best in everyone he met. His kindness was boundless, and he offered help to anyone who needed it, never asking for anything in return. Alden lived by the belief that if he was good to others, they would be good to him in return. After all, that was how the world should work, he thought. Kindness exchanged for kindness. People in the village liked Alden for his gentle nature, and he was known as someone who could always be relied upon. Whether it was helping a neighbor fix their roof or sharing a meal with someone in need, Alden never hesitated. He trusted people fully, convinced that everyone had the same pure intentions he did. But as time went on, Alden began to notice that not all people were as good-hearted as he believed. Some people took advantage of his kindness, pretending to be in need just to gain from his generosity. Others made promises to help him in return, only to disappear when it was time to fulfill their word. Alden's heart was heavy with confusion. How could people who smiled at him, who spoke kind words, have such bad intentions? One day, as Alden was walking through the village, he met a stranger who appeared to be in distress. The man had a convincing story, a tale of loss, hunger, and misfortune. Without hesitation, Alden took the man into his home, offering him food and shelter. The man seemed grateful, but after staying for several days, he left in the middle of the night, taking with him many of Alden's valuable possessions. When Alden awoke to find his things missing, he was shocked. At first he tried to brush it off, thinking the man must have been desperate. But as similar incidents began to happen again and again, Alden realized that not everyone had the same kind heart he did. He started to feel a sense of betrayal. How could people lie, cheat and deceive while pretending to be in need? It was a question that weighed on his mind day and night. Alden continued to help others, but each time a shadow of doubt began to creep into his thoughts. He wanted to believe in the goodness of people, but life was teaching him a different lesson, one that was difficult for him to accept. The world, it seemed, wasn't as innocent as he had once believed. One evening, as Alden sat by the river reflecting on the events that had shaken his trust in others, an elderly woman approached him. She was known in the village for her wisdom, and she could see the worry on Alden's face. "You look troubled, my dear," the woman said gently, sitting down beside him. "What weighs so heavily on your heart?" Alden sighed deeply, then told her everything, about how he had always trusted people, how he believed that everyone was good deep down, and how he had been hurt time and again by those who took advantage of his kindness. "I don't understand," Alden said, his voice filled with frustration. "How can people pretend to be good and kind when all they want is to deceive and take from others? Should I stop being kind? Should I stop trusting people?" The elderly woman smiled softly. "Ah, young Alden, the world is filled with many different kinds of people. Some with pure hearts like yours, and others with darker intentions. But the lesson is not to stop being kind, for kindness is your greatest strength. The lesson is to be wise with your kindness, to learn to see people for who they truly are before giving your trust." Alden listened intently. "Kindness doesn't mean blindness," she continued. "It's good to have a heart that wants to help, But not everyone deserves your trust right away. Trust is something that should be earned, not given freely. You must learn to observe, to understand people's intentions, and to protect yourself from those who would harm you. In doing so, you'll remain kind, but you'll also be strong. Over the next few weeks, Alden thought deeply about the old woman's words. He realized that he didn't need to change who he was. He could still be kind and helpful, but he needed to be more discerning. Trust was a gift, and not everyone was deserving of it. He started to observe people more carefully, learning to recognize when someone's words didn't match their actions. He began to ask more questions, to listen closely, and to give his trust only when it was clear that the person truly deserved it. At first, it was difficult for Alden to hold back. He still wanted to believe in the goodness of everyone, but as time passed, he found that this new approach brought him peace. He was no longer hurt by betrayal because he gave his trust only to those who had proven themselves worthy. And in doing so, he was able to keep his kind nature intact without being taken advantage of. One day, a man came to the village claiming to be in desperate need. Alden, now wiser, listened to the man's story carefully. While his heart wanted to help, his instincts told him something was off. Instead of rushing to offer his home, Alden kindly asked for more details. The man grew nervous, his story starting to unravel. Alden realized that the man was not what he seemed, and kindly but firmly sent him on his way. From that moment on, Alden knew he had found the balance. He could still be the kind person he had always been, but now he protected his heart and his trust from those who didn't deserve it. Years passed, and Alden became known not just for his kindness, but for his wisdom. He still helped those in need, but he did so with care and caution. He had learned that trust was like gold, precious and valuable, and not something to be given away without thought. People in the village came to admire Alden, not just for his goodness, but for his strength in knowing when to offer trust and when to hold back. As you lie in your bed tonight, remember the lesson of Alden. Be kind always, but be wise with your trust. Not everyone who smiles at you has good intentions, and that's okay. Trust is something to be earned, not freely given. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and think of the balance between kindness and wisdom, between an open heart and a cautious mind. Let this balance guide you as you drift into a peaceful and restful sleep.